Hey everybody, welcome back to George Does Stuff, the worst knife review channel in all of the internet. First of all, as always, I'd like to say thank you to my subscribers. I'd like to say thank you to my viewers. I never ask anybody to subscribe to this channel. I do not know why you would, but I appreciate everybody who does. You guys make my day every day. Please feel free to make comments. I try to answer all the comments I can. If I've missed a comment, it'd be a miracle because I really try to reply back as soon as possible. And you guys have great comments and you give great info and you have wonderful opinions. And I've heard from people from England to Russia, all over the world, which just amazes me because my channel is it's teeny tiny. I don't even have 400 subs. So you guys are awesome. I appreciate you all. And as a reward, I have a what I would call a typical bizarre George Does Stuff knife. As I've mentioned in my other videos, I'm a member of the Amazon Vines Voices program, which means that in exchange for my reviews, not these reviews, but the reviews I do on Amazon, I get products for free. And most of these products are very inexpensive. They're Chinese made and most of them are just not that good. But occasionally you get some weird, wild stuff that sneaks through, and this is absolutely one of them. I think this is absolutely the largest knife that I think it's the largest knife I've reviewed. I think it's the second largest knife I have ever owned. I mean, I gotta zoom out to get this whole thing in picture here. Pay no attention to this, it's fine. This is a knife, this is the Ba-Kor. I don't remember if this is the Ba-Kor is the manufacturer or if Ba-Kor is the model number, but it doesn't really matter because if I get the box open, you can do it. There we go. This knife, everybody sit down. No, I don't want anybody standing up and viewing this because you're about to laugh and I don't want you to hurt. And if you're driving, just pull off the road because this knife to me is wonderful and silly. Here we go, folks. The Ba-Kor. This knife is freaking colossal and I find it to be hilarious. First of all, you can't help but notice it's a pretty damn good sheath. A really nice. I think it's Kydex. It feels like not very. It's very, 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 very thin Kydex. It does have adjustable stuff. It looks like it's. I don't know if that's Molly compatible. I'm not exactly sure what system that is. I'm not an expert on the various. Clamping systems, but anyway, obviously that will easily clip onto a belt or a backpack or anything you want to clip it onto. It does come with a very large fire steel ferrule rod with a scraper, so it comes with its own scraper. I have no use for that personally, but it has something else in there. No, that's just back to the edge. The one thing, put this out of the way here for a second, that may catch your eye, or may not catch your eye, or I may draw it to your attention intentionally here. Look at that, folks. That's a bottle opener. Or possibly, actually, that'd probably work as a can opener too. And you might be thinking, hey, that's a pretty nifty idea. That's a good survival item. Yeah, let me tell you something. That right there, that's sharp enough that if I pull much harder than that, it's going to cut me. This thing is very, very sharp. And if there's anything that I don't want on the end of my knife, especially once it's in the sheath, I want the sharp part to be in here. I don't want the sharp part to be out here where my hand goes. I don't like that. It's not to say it's not useful. I'm sure it's quite useful, but to me, I'm not a big fan of that. That being said, I'm not sure there's much else about this knife that I don't like. Look at this bad mamma jamma. I mean, this is just, it really is just a small machete. I mean, I don't know what else. I mean, that's a traditional machete shape. I can tell you that they did a hell of a job putting it. Can you see the edge they put on that? I mean, it's almost a mirror polish, and it is really even all the way up to the tip. I mean, this is a very well created knife. This is sharp very well. Look at all the extra material you have there for sharpening. That's a huge sharpening choil. That's obviously not a finger choil unless you're a little person. But I mean, that is a tremendous amount of life that they give you with this knife. Here you can see the Ba-Kor name, Ba-Kor, fear me, and this is 9CR18 MOV, which you may or may not be able to make out there. Let's see if I can zoom in and so I can see it. Just so you guys know, I'm looking at a little 2-inch monitor, so it's very hard for me to see what you guys are seeing. But yeah, there you can see the blade steel. I can tell you, I'm actually a little intimidated holding this the way I am because I mean this blade is very well done. It is. I will tell you right now, before I even get to the sharp test, it is ridiculously sharp. It is really, really good. This knife is extremely comfortable. It has a very nice, I believe this is G10. Yes, G10 handle. Obviously, this, as you can see, it's a full tang. It's a heavy knife. It really inspires a lot of confidence. It really feels rock solid. You can see again that full tang running all the way down to the bottle opener. Oh, yeah, look at that, so happy. Obviously, I've not taken this out to give anything a whack with it yet, but I can tell you it absolutely feels like this thing will take an absolute just beating. Nothing about this knife feels loose. All the edges are smooth, even the spine, which some people would argue is not a good thing because people want sharp spines for fire steels, but since it already comes with a scraper, you're fine. It has a really nice little handguard treatment there, which is great. So if you're going to town and working on something, you get a little bit more protection, keep it from slipping onto that amazing edge you have there. The one thing that this knife does not have, which particularly I would recommend for a knife this size, is it doesn't have a lanyard hole, which is actually that's almost a problem because a knife this big, I mean, you really if you're doing some cutting, you're going to want to put your hand as far back as possible, and you're going to want a lanyard to wrap around your wrist. So if you lose control of the knife, it just doesn't go flying off in the wilderness, whatever, it really helps with knife control, particularly on very large knives. So it's kind of a mistake to have this here, especially. I mean, they could have drilled a hole here, or I guess if you guys have a drill at home, you could do it yourselves. But this knife should have a lanyard. A knife this size should always have a lanyard. The dimensions are large. I will flash the dimensions up there along with the price. I remember this being relatively inexpensive. Let me see if I can find it in my... So yes, this is the Ba-Kor 5mm. So I'm assuming that that's saying that the spice? Wow, I really should take more drugs. That the spine is, the blade stock is 5mm thick. Just a guess there, but I think that's believable. I mean, this is obviously for a machete. This is actually kind of a thick blade, but for a survival knife, it's definitely not anything to be too excited about at that thickness. But like I said, it's a very rock solid feeling knife. So this knife is currently selling for $89, and they do have different variants. They have one that's actually more of a drop point that looks almost more like I'd say a battle knife than a machete. I mean, this to me it's a machete. It's just a very thick mini machete, but it is absolutely wonderful. I like it. And so this model actually is the Baya, the BA-YHA1. I don't know if that's a translation from Chinese or some other language, but it is the Ba-Kor Baya 1. And I think it's a fantastic little knife. Let me compare. I don't have a lot of fixed blades, but I do have some on the table for this review. I will take out the BPS Adventurer, which is absolutely dwarfed by this knife. And this is like a 6-inch blade. I mean, this is not a teeny tiny knife. That's a legitimate fixed blade, knife. But we will take out my favorite fixed blade, which is the Work Tough Mountain Lion. I absolutely love this knife, and you can see that the Ba-Kor is actually significantly bigger. I mean, it doesn't dwarf it, but it is definitely a much larger. Now, that is how thick a real survival knife should be. That's bordering on a 1/4 inch right there. This knife is almost $300 knife. This is a $90 knife. But I'll tell you what, I mean, if you were to keep this in your truck or your car, or a backpack for a bug out bag or something like that, it's a good buy. It truly is it's truly a good knife. I really like the way it looks. I really like the way it feels. I just do not like that bottle opener at the end. It's just absolutely unnecessary. But I will tell you, and this is the portion of the video, if you guys have held on with me long enough and haven't signed off or fallen asleep, is the sharpness of this knife. I did not touch this knife up in any way. This is 100% the factory edge. This knife did not need my help at all. Like I said, you can see from the grind that these guys did on this knife that whoever did this, it was not their first time in knife sharpening. So let's go ahead and take out our piece of paper and see what we got. And holy mother of pearl, that's a big thick knife going right through that paper. I mean, this thing just whistles right through there without any issue whatsoever. This is a very, very sharp knife, especially for its size. Is it absolutely perfect? No, not at all, as far as the sharpness goes. But is it more than sharp enough? Absolutely. I mean, this is not a fine detail knife. This is a knife you're going to use to baton, take out weeds, take off limbs, help build, do firewood prep and stuff like that. So for that, this thing is very well suited for that purpose. And at this price, I mean, it's a big, heavy knife. I mean, a lot of people argue that when you start talking about knives this big, you want to carry an axe and not a knife, or you want to carry a saw instead of a knife. But I'm a knife guy, and I like knives. And if I were in a situation where I could, carry this with me, I'd absolutely take this with me. I would take this with me first, but in a perfect, not everybody can afford or even wants to spend, $200 and some odd for a knife, especially when you can get one that's relatively decent for $90. So for $90, a decent knife, decent steel, well prepared edge, very good sheath, and you get a fire steel. Absolutely, man, go for it. If this knife does it for you, I say pick one up, and just be prepared and know that you are not getting a little knife. You're getting 100% beefcake with this guy. It is a full-on life experience. So that being said, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. If you held on this long, I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody who watches my videos. This is a big, silly knife, which makes it perfect for this channel, because this is just a big, silly channel. And with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate y'all. I'll talk to y'all soon. Thank you.